Who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Lepre, King Mike L. This is Legit Fantasy Football, brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. It is September 17th, 2023. The last and final Legit Fantasy Football that I can say I'm in my 40s. Whew. Joining me as always, brother Ray. What's up, Ray? You're muted. You muted yourself.
I guess I owe everybody $5. Sorry about that. Good morning, everybody. I can talk. I do have a voice. Looking forward to football today. Let's get this thing going.
How are you feeling?
Feeling better. Just it's tough. You reach my age, you get all kind of ailments and things going on, but the show must go on.
No, I believe me, I know. Like I said, this is the last show in my 40s, and in about 30, 35 years, when I'm at your age, I bet it's going to hurt a lot more, Joining us, M1 Matt Stradamus, Mr. Never Left. How are you, Matt?
Doing excellent, gentlemen. How you guys doing today?
The show always goes on. I can't wait for football again, and I have a lot of but questions, basically. Joining us from his lair, Captain Ricard. What's up, Sean?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy football day. Should be fun today.
Oh, yes. With a lot of
Brother Ray, testify.
Testify. So last week, with the locks, the picks were a little. Brother Ray, I think we beat the other two by one game, and it's not something to really brag about, but like by one game, I think we were like 8 apiece. They were 7 apiece, something like that. 12 or something like that. So here we go. We're gonna go week 2. A lot of things week 2 that I'm literally like. I know I keep saying it. It's a lot of buts because I'm like, it happened in week 1, but is it gonna happen again? You know what I mean? So let us just prance through the games as we shall. We're gonna start with the opening game. I wrote them in large letters so I can see them. So there will be no like Carolina or I'm saying like something else with a C because I just can't see. There's a lot of C's in a row, and I'm not even. Here we go. The Chargers travel to Tennessee. The Chargers are favored by 2.5. The over-under is 45.5. Brother Ray, I'm going to start with you because the Chargers didn't look, super. And the Titans don't look super. But what do you think of this game?
Yeah, the Chargers defense completely got eviscerated last week. I mean, they obviously did not improve. That was going to be a big focal point for them. That didn't happen. And to be honest, Justin Herbert looked okay, but he didn't look as good as I think myself and other fantasy owners thought he would be. So very uneven. Tennessee, Tannehill looked really bad, if I'm being honest. They're probably going to be without Nuke Hopkins today. If that's the case, that could be a problem. They are at home, and their run defense did play well last week. This is a tough game. I'm going to go with,
only gave up 16, right, to the Saints, who I thought would have scored more. So
at New Orleans too, which is a tough place to play. Being that Tennessee's at home, I'm going to go with them in this game. I believe they're getting the points as well. So I'm going to take the home team with the points.
So you're slowly jumping off the Chargers ship. Like you think they're going to go.
I mean, no Austin Eckler today. Josh Kelly's a great start in DFS, but I don't think he brings the same dynamic that Austin does. And I need to see from San Diego. That coach scares the crap out of me.
The thing is, San Diego did score 34 against the Dolphins. I know they were playing catch up. It was like a video game, 36-34. But they did show they could put points on the board, where the Titans have yet to show really to me they can put points on the board. But Matt, over to you for this pick. Chargers -2.5.
There's a chance that that game isn't even as close as the score tells, and that I agree with Brother Ray. That Coach Staley with LA, not San Diego, gentlemen, is
Mm.
just
I
something
refuse.
else. And I
refuse.
can't back that ship. I can't back that ship until, and I won't do it against Mike Vrabel. That's for sure. Because he could have chicken shit and he'll make chicken salad out of it. Whereas to Staley has chicken salad, he just keeps making chicken shit. It's crazy. Give me the Texans. I mean the Texans. Give me the Titans minus Nuke, even if he doesn't play. I like Treylon Burks and give me the Titans.
So, Matt, Sean, I know a couple of times you've shipped your pants several places. Speaking of shipping, who do you like in the game?
Funny enough story. I once shipped my pants during a job interview, and I still got the job. More on that later.
That's pretty good.
I have the Chargers. I'm sorry. Chargers, even without Eckler, you got to see they're a good team. Not a big fan of their head coach, like you guys were saying. But when I look over at the Titans have no one that's going to be able to catch the ball today. I wish it was another case, but even Hopkins, if he does make it to the game, he's not going to have more than 3-4 catches. So going with the Chargers, feel good.
Minus 2.5. I'm gonna roll with Sean, just for the fact that I think the Chargers, if they score early, a couple of quick touchdowns, because they do have the weapons to try to do that with the receivers. I don't see the Titans playing catch up. Or, mustard. You know what I mean? They're not going to be there. They'll pull away the Chargers. So that's where I'm going. We're going to split on that one. Matt, we'll start with you on this second one. The Green Bay Packers, with their new young shiny quarterback, travel to Hotlanta, and the Falcons are favored by 1.5 on an over/under of 40.5. Who do you like?
I love Green Bay and I love the under, and this is why, right? You could get away in Atlanta's offense by bottling up the quarterback last week. You can't get away with that this week with the Packers. The Packers are going to do everything to suffocate. And if you like, if you don't have a defense, go and get the defense, Green Bay defense against Atlanta's offense this week, because it's just going to pay dividends. Green Bay, wow. They look seamless at the quarterback position. Jordan Love looks really the pot. Romeo Doubs, even though he's as injured as he is, whether or not they get Christian Watson back, it really doesn't matter. Musgrave is a must-have. Luke, the tight end there from Green Bay, efficient in the role. I believe in him. I believe in that offense. I believe in that coach. And I definitely don't believe in Atlanta. So give me Green Bay.
So you're taking Green Bay?
Yes, sir.
That was a joke. So Atlanta did score, 27 points, something like that last week? It's not like they can't score. But in my opinion, I'm going to ride with Matt on this one, because the Packers look like a better team, top to bottom. And I don't even care about the quarterback. Like, he's just a piece of that whole machine. They look like a decent team, the Packers. They look like a Vikings-level B-plus type team. Whereas
they're better than the Vikings.
I'm just saying, like, in general, when the Vikings every year are like that B-plus team, like, that's where the Packers kind of sit. And I think the Falcons are below that. So I'm going to go with Green Bay myself. Sean, to you.
All right. So I'm going to roll with the Packers as well. I think the Falcons, their whole deal was the running game. And this week, you're going to watch the Packers load the box, even though they're not going to rush everyone. They're going to drop back, and they're going to basically control the run game. And Riddler doesn't have the answer. He's not going to be anyone that can do anything for you. So, therefore, the Packers, even with their limited offense, I think we're going to be surprised today, and they're going to win.
Ray, over to you.
I think I'm going to lone wolf this. I'm going with the Falcons. I'll tell you what, watching them last week, they may have the best defense in the league, minus San Francisco. They have completely retooled that defense in the offseason, the free agent acquisitions they brought in, and they looked great last week. I know their offense didn't look good. They did run the ball, though. Tyler Algier had a big day. We saw Bijan, what he can do. It's only a matter of time before Pitts and London get going. Green Bay without Aaron Jones. A.J. Dillon, great start today in DFS. Contract year for him. I think he's going to have a big day. But I'm going to take Ritter.
Ray, really quick. So the Falcons spread has gone from 1.5 last night to 3.
3. Yeah.
It was 1.5 last night.
I'm still taking the Falcons given 3.
All right, so here's my issue with your pick. The Falcons defense is really good, but they still gotta beat Green Bay by 3. You know what I mean? Like that, they get a score. Maybe there's a defensive score. I'm just saying, like, I think those two defenses are gonna lock each other up, and I think the better offense wins, which would be Green Bay. But I do understand your take. Matt, what is your take on the spread jumping from 1.5 last night to 3 right now?
I'm on the other side of it, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit more investigation. But I don't see any chance for the Falcons to win this game. So I don't know what it is. Sometimes it's just somebody puts a large amount of money and made the spread go a certain way. So if we look into it and we found one guy put two different large amounts at two different locations, that could swing the points that much depending on how much he put on it. But sometimes it's somebody knows something that we don't, injury. But I don't look at anything other than line movement as sometimes it's official and other times it's trying to get maybe movement on one side rather than the other. I don't believe that Atlanta has what it takes to compete with Green Bay. Like I said, I came out and I said what Atlanta did last week because they won minus the quarterback. They can't do that this week. Ridler's going to have to do something. He can't do that. We already seen what Atlanta could do. They can run the ball. They're not going to be able to run the ball.
The Packers beat a high school team last week. Just keep that in mind. They beat a high school team last week.
I'm not going off of what Green Bay did last week. I'm going more off of what Atlanta did last week. Atlanta ran the ball, and they ran the ball very efficiently, but I don't believe that that's going to be the case this week against Green Bay.
All right. Let's move on. Let's go down to Houston. Sean, the Colts are traveling to Houston. And Houston, I had at 1. It's now a pick. Now,
yeah.
I didn't like the Colts at all. And now that it's a pick, to me, it almost changes a lot what you think. But what do you think about this game?
Oh, this is the Rolaids game of the week. This is
yeah.
I actually see the Texans better running game slightly. Not if you include quarterbacks, obviously, but if you're talking about just straight running game, I see the Texans ball control slowing the game down a little bit. They win by a field goal. Nothing crazy.
So I'm gonna go next, Sean. Here's the reason I'm with you. The Texans, they play ugly games, and if it's a pick or even one. Especially now with a pick, but I'm going by 1. The Colts aren't built in the same way the Texans are. The Texans will hang around and win this game again by a field goal is what I have. Right?
Yeah, I like the Texans too. I think they have the better quarterback. I think that offense is going to be completely different this year. I think the days of Davis Mills, being, inept and not being able to lead a team down the field, that's over.
Davis Mills.
That's over. C.J. Stroud is a good quarterback. I like what they're doing in Houston, and that defense is going to have an answer to Richardson. I don't think there's any doubt.
Well said. Matt.
The line is where it's at because C.J. Stroud is on the injury report. Came up late. He's bummy. He's not looking good. Chance he might not play at all, but he is injured. So I would lean with the Texans. If Stroud played the whole game, I'm not sure he does.
He's supposed to play. He is.
With that being the case,
it's
going to be a lot of low scoring, and I would take the Colts and I take the under. Yeah, under all day.
You're going with the Colts, huh?
I'm going with the Colts.
You're going to split on us, make a bad decision. All right. Seattle travels to Detroit. Oh, this is I guess I just don't like Detroit, the city. No offense, Detroit. I just don't like you. Seattle travels to Detroit. Detroit favored by 4.5. Oh, boy. I said at the very beginning of this year, the 3 most talented teams, skill-wise, I thought from 1 to 53 would be the Lions, Eagles, and Chiefs, maybe. And I really mean it about the Lions and Eagles. Like, their whole roster is stupid. It's stupid how they can structure contract and have that many alls. It's like when it's like the big 3. It's like it's a ridiculous thing. I like the Lions at home. I think they're scaring us with the spread of 4.5. I think they actually moved it to It's still 4.5. They put it just out of that field goal range to make you think, oh, wow, Lions have to win by a touchdown. The Lions are going to win by more than a touchdown in this game. The Lions are going to show this week they're one of the premier teams, unfortunately, for all of us in the NFL. So I'm going to go with the Lions -4. Sean, you're up.
Yep. Opposite. Seahawks, I don't think anything went their way last week. I think it's an aberration. They have a high-powered offense. So I'm picking the over as well. But I don't know. Lions, I think, are very, very good. Don't get me wrong. But I think Seahawks are fast. They're going to play fast. And that's going to make it an exciting game on that turf.
I closed my eyes in the first part of what you were saying, and I pictured the Giants. You could have just said the same exact stuff about the Giants. It was an aberration. Like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Yada, 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 but I'll get into that later because the offensive line. I can't believe, by the way, that I'm still talking about the offensive line in 2023 when I've been talking about it since 2012? Brother Ray, who do you like in this game? Seahawks, Lions -4.5.
I think that spread is showing you that people don't really respect what Detroit did last week in Kansas City against the defending champs. I have to go with the Lions here. I really like this today. I think the fact that it's less than 7, I jump on this all day. Seattle's defense, very disappointing last week. Extremely disappointing. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to absolutely go all out today. He's a great DFS play. They brought him along slowly last week. Monty got all the red zone stuff. I think this week Gibbs is just going to explode. I love the Lions. It's not 7. I'll take them at home because I, like you, King, I believe that what they did last week was a sign of things to come.
Matt?
I couldn't agree with Brother Ray more, to be honest with you. I could even go the other way and say that, and I don't want to get too big over 1 week, although I am in some ways, but I really truly believe that there's a problem up in Seattle. What we've seen last year with Geno might be just a one-hit wonder. Maybe the defenses are seeing that there's, only so much he can do. But I think even before that, when you had Russell Wilson in that offense, there was only so much that they could do. And now you got Smith being injured. He didn't take on the part that he was supposed to be last week. I think it really hurts that offense not have somebody to roam the middle of that field. It's too one-dimensional, one down the field. DK Metcalf can only do so much, and so can't Tyler Lockett. I think that team is predictable, and I think that's what we're seeing, and I think it's going to continue to be evident all year long. So I think the Lions, like Brother Ray said, anything under a touchdown, that's love, baby. Take that.
So Seattle, if you remember last week, I said
You did.
Now that Geno has a year of tape for other team defenses to watch him, they're going to do to him what they did to him in the beginning of his career when he started off hot and just take everything away from him. Like, I personally hate Geno Smith. He broke Eli Manning's consecutive game record for no reason. The Iron Man, the guy that was always there for every game for 10 seasons in a row as a quarterback. You could count on the fact he was under center. And then Geno Smith comes along. All right. Right. Chicago Bears travel to Tampa Bay. The Bears look like you said, a high school team. The Bucs are favored by 2.5 as of last night. Let's see if it's changed. No, it's still 2.5. Who do you like in this game and why?
There's been a lot of stuff going on in Chicago all week. They have been on this team and on this coaching staff. They threw 95% of their offensive plays were horizontal passes, maybe 1 yard over the line of scrimmage. So this team is taking a lot of heat this week. I like Chicago for a bounce back this week, getting the 2.5. I think in DFS, the stack of Fields and DJ Moore today is going to make a lot of people money. I think they have to respond this week because basically Chicago was ready to get rid of the team last week. I think they bounce back in a big way.
Matty?
To be honest with you, I don't even know who Chicago is playing this week. Give me the rundown of the game.
Tampa Bay. Bears, Bucks, and
Bears,
Tampa.
Bucks. I was on the Bucks last week, and to be honest with you, I'm on the Bucks this week. I got them in a DFS play. And like Brother Ray says, it's funny. He says they beat a high school team last week. He's taking out a high school team this week. Well, the Bucks minus Tom Brady still have a very admirable defense. They showed it last week. I was on them last week. I said it. I said that everyone was against them.
You did.
And I'm on them. I'm with them. I still think they got the makings of a good team. Baker Mayfield might make you want to puke. But, sometimes you put puke next to something beautiful, and puke can even look good. So I think that he's going to be all right. I think that he's a much better quarterback than that Justin Fields, at least throwing the ball anyways. So
you can put puke next to something, and even puke will look better.
Well, you get a good-looking chick, right? And then you get this ugly dude. You're not even looking at the dude. You're like, who is she with? He's got to be a good-looking dude. Then you look at the picture again. You're like, I didn't even notice that guy, but how? So, you know what I'm saying? That's how it's the same thing.
So she's puke in this scenario. Okay. Sean, who do you like?
I love Brother Ray's take on this. Except for I think the stack is going to be between Fields and Kmet, just because they like to do situational. Yeah, does have a situational blitzing
with Kmet. 7 targets last week, Captain. Great job.
Yep. And should be good stuff. So I got Bears over Bucks.
Okay, I'm gonna just think of this logically. I'm gonna go with Matt, even with the puke statement. Because the Bears are a couple of games away from figuring out who they even are, and that's just the truth. And Tampa with another jerk for quarterback, Mr. Baker speak ill of the Giants organization, Mayfield. It's only 2.5, so I got to go Tampa. All right, Ray. I started with you last time, I think, so I'll start with Matty. The Raiders go to Buffalo, right? Buffalo's favored by 7.5. In this game, I have a real strong feeling, even though I didn't pick him up in fantasy and I should have, for Hunter Renfrow. I think he slides in today and we see something from him because he's going to get more time than you think he will. But with that said, the Bills got embarrassed. Josh Allen was embarrassed on national TV. No Brian Daboll. He's throwing balls down the field like he doesn't. It was like the Eli Manning 3rd and 5 play in the Super Bowl. He's just throwing balls up in the air. And then he's the kind of guy that he gets into his own head so badly that he fumbled that ball. Like that, right? That's what Daboll used to do. Control his whole. What do you like in the game, Matt?
I'll be very honest, right? I had money on the Jets. My buddy hits me up. Aaron Rodgers is carted off. I still like the Jets.
We all did.
He put $100 on him, live bet plus 600. Bam. And I'll be honest with you. The reason why Josh Allen is garbage, leads the league in turnovers since he's come in. You can't keep winning with that recipe. So do I like the Bills to win the game? Sure. Raiders red-faced me last week. I had the Broncos to respond and they didn't. The Raiders showed a lot in that contest. And I think that they're a different Raiders team than the last few years. And I'm hearing a lot that, McDaniels didn't get the QB play out of Derek Carr that he wanted. Carr was just doing whatever his own thing. And why we're all questioning ourselves, why would he go with Jimmy? Well, Jimmy's going to do what he's told, and he's a little good little soldier. So now maybe you get that steady play from Jimmy, and then you get what you like out of your offense. I like the Raiders to stay in this game. The Buffaloes will allow it. So give me the Raiders. And I actually kind of am starting to change my mind with what Brother Ray said, because that Chicago game in the last game is a perfect bounce-back game. It's the reason why the spread is exactly the way it is. And that's why we're here with each other today, because it's been calling me in my head ever since Brother Ray said it. I'm saying Brother Ray knows what he's talking about. And this right here, it's not far off to believe, right? The Bills aren't what you think they are, and they're not. And there's problems on the inside of that organization. Give me the Raiders and give me the under.
So here's where I so I don't understand. It just kind of doesn't make sense to me. If there's ever going to be a bounce back game, it would be the Buffalo Bills not wanting to be embarrassed again and showing how good they are.
There's a lot of pressure on them, King. It's It's a lot of pressure on him. And I think that pressure crept into game one, and that's why he had 3 picks, because he was overcompensating. He had to,
Yeah.
Josh Allen is
Yeah.
not he's not going to all of a sudden change into something he's not. He's
Yeah,
shown
but-
us what he is.
Yeah, but they yelled at him all week. He was scolded all week about protecting the ball. You know this. He had to be, right? And then secondly, Jimmy Garoppolo is only as good until he gets hurt, which they should do the over-under on that on quarters. Like, I bet in the third quarter, Jimmy G has to go to the sidelines for something. So I'm going to go the other way. Unfortunately, I'm going to go with the Bills minus 7.5. I think it's actually the Bills make a statement. Like, do they just let people know that they're still good? Sean.
It's a line you said, correct me if I had it at 8, it's 7.5, right?
7.5. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, for that reason, I like the Bills just because, hate to say it, Raiders defense is hot garbage. Those cornerbacks cannot stop anything. So I think Kincaid should have a coming out party today. Not thinking he's going to have a monster game, but thinking he's going to have a reasonable, decent game with about 4 or 5 catches for the Oakland Raiders. They got, I think they're going to get a lot of Josh Jacobs, but sticking with the Bills and, going from there.
He's a beast, that kid. That kid is a beast. That tight end is a beast. Like, he really is, and I was saying it before. All right, so we split on that one. Let's see. Let's go to
Whoa.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I like the Bills in this. I do like the Bills. I think their offensive line is really hurting them right now. And I think there was just so much hype with that game. It was the most watched Monday Night Football game of all time. So I think they got caught up in all that. The drama, Rodgers going down, all that psychological things that go with that. I think they come out today and blow them out. Their defense is just too good. James Cook, I think he's going to be elite this year. His usage rate from last week should get everybody's attention. If they use him like they used him last week, he could be a top 5 back this year. I love him today in DFS. Love the Bills today, 7.5 all day.
So, Matt, I'm going to give you a chance
sir.
to maybe change your opinion on this game.
Yeah.
After hearing all 3 of us, the Bills had a horrible game, like a game that was like an aberration. Here we go again. It's just one of those games. Like, you really think they're going to have another one of those games? Like, you think Josh is really going to throw 3 more interceptions in this game?
I do because the simple fact that you didn't see Gabe Davis really get involved, right?
Yeah.
And you also have competition between Dawson Knox and Kincaid.
Oh, there will be no competition.
They don't really have a solid number 2. And I think that even aside from their number 1, there's a problem between Allen and Diggs. I think that the tension between them is showing on the field. And I kind of felt this prior to this season coming in. The Cinderella was supposed to be home by midnight. This is 3 a.m. now. This is well past 2.
You know what? I'm gonna contradict my own self in this one sentence. I said at the beginning of the year, Bills would finish 3rd in the AFC East. I kept saying that they're not going to be on the same level because there's just be something wrong. But I felt like you just named a bunch of weapons that Josh Allen has, like Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, and then there was one more you mentioned that I'm forgetting. But those are all people.
I will say this: I am probably limiting the fact that they played against the Jets defense, and they're not going to be going against the Jets defense this week.
Exactly.
But when there's blood in the water, the Sharks know it. And right now, when you look across the field and you see the Bills, you go, that's a beatable Bills team. And we can hang with them. And not only that, I really factor in when I'm looking at the spread or I'm looking at the game, I'm looking at the other team too. Like, even right now, like, we haven't touched the game yet. But when it comes to New England and Miami, I could make the case for why I think Miami wins by double digits here. But we have a team on the other side that has to win that game. And the Raiders are that team. And they need this game as much as the Bills do. And they believe in themselves. It's still the start of the year. They're still feeling themselves. The problem that I have is the Raiders definitely have a much worse defense than the Bills do. So, but that being said, we have to take account of the Raiders' offense. They have a very good offense. That Mike Mayer kid's no joke. I don't think we've seen him his debut yet.
All right. Last thing on that game, though, I feel like the 7.5 sways people to go with the Raiders. Like,
yeah, I could definitely agree with that.
To make everybody bet on the Raiders, 7.5. Oh, more than a touchdown. Still
but King, I can also see where it would make people want to tease that down to a winnable Bills game, and the Bills just go 0-2 because they can't go 0-2. They could go 0-2.
Right. I don't know where I'm in the order. I'm just going to throw it at you really quick. The Chiefs go to the Jaguars. The Chiefs are favored by 3. Now, the Chiefs, it was disappointing, but we predicted it. I like the lines in that game. The Jaguars are good. Like, can I just say that they're good? Do I have to say that they're great? Because they beat the Colts by 10. And So who do you like? Chiefs -3 over under 51.
Yeah, I have 3.5. So based on what I have, Jacksonville getting 3.5. I'm going with the home team getting 3.5. I think Jacksonville, I think they're better than they were last year. And I think, they lost to them in the playoffs. And I think they've had this game on the calendar for a long time. It's a home game. I like what they did with Etienne running the ball, him and Tank. They have the weapons in the air. Zay Jones picked up where he left off. And their defense, they stabilized. The Colts, and Richardson's a tough person to play because of his rushing ability. They were able to shut that down, and they clamped down on the Colts. I like Jacksonville getting that 3.5 until we see that wide receiving core for the Chiefs stabilize. And I know Kelsey's going to play, and that's going to be a big help. But who is their number one? Who is their number one? I think it's going to be Sky Moore eventually, but we have to see that today. I like Jacksonville getting 3.5.
All right. Sean, who do you like? Chiefs -3 at Jacksonville.
I like Chiefs all the way. A couple reasons. One, Andy Reid is that type of coach that you lose one, you better win him one. Number two, you got, as we all know, Chris Jones coming back, going to totally change that game. And on top of it, Kelsey coming back. By the way, I just got this week's actives and inactives. Watson's out. Jones is out. Deontay Foreman in. Kelsey, Hopkins, Andrews, Edwards-Helaire, Stroud, and Bosa. If that changes anyone's pick.
Deontay Foreman in as far as what? In the
Playing
game
time.
or starting?
Yeah. Starting, it says.
Starting. Deontay Foreman.
Yes.
We're at Chicago, right? Deontay Foreman?
Thank you for that information. Let me go redo my lineup. Ray.
Oh, wait. My mistake. Foreman's out.
All right, Sean, you almost screwed me over. Let me go back.
Did not stop.
That's Ray, you like the Jags. Matt, who do you like?
I like the Jags. I think the Jags could win this game straight up. This is another thing that we see, right, where Travis Kelce might be back, but with the amount of blood that they took out of his knee, he shouldn't even be playing this week. But he's playing this week because they were so bad without him last week. You had to think, right, that regardless if Kelce played or not, that KC was going to put up the points. And then I think that we really didn't put too much recognition to the fact that, wow, look at Pat Mahomes without his cape. It's the first time we ever seen him play without Travis Kelce, and he looked beatable. They only put in I don't know if I'm right when I'm saying this. Was it one offensive touchdown? How'd they get their second, right? I don't remember, but I think there was a couple field goals, maybe a 2-point conversion, but I don't remember how they got their points, but they got two touchdowns quick in the second half, but they really weren't in that game, and it was very difficult for them to put up points. You never seen Pat Mahomes get any type of rhythm. And like Brother Ray says, I think it could be Sky Moore, but boy, oh boy, how could it be? Because none of these guys showed anything, and they need to. And I'm going to tell you something, that offense on the other side is going to be clicking. So I think that the Jaguars are going to score, and I think they're going to win. So give me the Jaguars with the spread, and I like the over too. It's one of the biggest over-unders in the week. So maybe Patty Mahomes comes back, but I know that Jaguars are going to score.
So Sean's with the Chiefs, you two guys with the Jaguars. I look at this game kind of like I look at the Bills game. There's no way the Chiefs lose 2 in a row. They are a great team that had a bad game, but still was in the game. Like, that's a big deal to me. The Jaguars aren't ready for the Chiefs, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Split that one. Sean, Baltimore goes to Cincinnati. The Ravens come to play the Bengals, and Joe Burrow and his – everybody freaks out, but he does it every year. Starts off horribly slow, and then he builds up, and suddenly before the playoffs, Joe's like Hollywood Joe. But, like, everyone's freaking out already. Oh, he had a horrible first game. And I'm thinking, yeah, doesn't he do that every year? But, okay, Ravens -3. I mean, Bengals -3. Who do you like?
This is going to be terrible on my side. I'm taking Baltimore just because I think Maddie said it last year. There's always that time when you say, all right, they lost their running back, they lost their tackle, no chance in hell that they're going to win. But I have a feeling Baltimore is going to pull out some magic with Beckham having a big game today, believe it or not.
Wow, Beckham.
Yeah.
Matt, over to you. Ravens at Cincy. Cincy's favored by 3.
You know, it's crazy because Joe Burrow's never beaten the Ravens with Lamar Jackson at the helm. There's something to it. I don't want to make, like I said, I don't want to make too much out about 1 week. And Joe Burrow played in the rain last week and couldn't throw the ball. I don't think that's going to happen this week. Will they break the trend? I'm going to go with bucking the trend. Let's go with the Bengals, even though all the makings and the recipe for a Baltimore win are there. Because I definitely believe that could be the case. Divisional game, when a team's in your head, it's in your head. Can the Bengals respond? I say they do.
Raymond, Bengals -3 against 3.
I think something's wrong with Joe Burrow. Obviously, we know he's not 100%. I think there's a lot not being said. He did not look good. Again, he's usually pretty good in bad weather games. Ohio kid. He did not look good at all. The Ravens offense didn't look good either, but their defense did enough to win. I love the Ravens today. I love Justice Hill today. DFS Justice Hill is a gift. He is going to replace Dobbins. I got news for you. Edwards is not the guy. Justice Hill is the guy. If he's available in any league, pick him up pronto. Love the Ravens getting 3.5 today.
So I'm going to also go with the Ravens, and I'm going to say why. I think Joe goes through a couple of weeks of disaster, and then we either figure out that injury with his calf was something legitimate, or we find out something else. I know T. Higgins has already been actively asking to be traded because they didn't sign his contract in the final year, and he's set to become a free agent. So they're going to want to try to get some value for him. So when that kind of stuff starts to happen, I don't trust the locker room, I'm going to go with the Ravens to win that game. So, all right, let's move on to the 4 o'clocks, gentlemen. All right. The Giants travel to Arizona to play the Cardinals. Giants are -4. I want to go first on this one. So everything that could go wrong did go wrong in that game. That was one of those games where balls are popping out of people's hands and it just got stupid fast, right? Secondly, Mark Glowinski at right guard, who is one of the worst offensive linemen all week in any game. He gave up 3 sacks, 9 hurries, 10. The right side with Evan Neal. Evan Neal, if you ever get to listen to this podcast, which I don't think you would, but if you ever do, you got one more game, dude. In my book, if you don't play well today, no, moving you to guard, big guy, because you can't get out of that stance. And you worked with the Hall of Famer from Cincinnati, and you still can't get out of your stance. Glowinski's hot garbage, right? But with that said, the Cardinals, what they can do, a horrible quarterback, horrible. But they can pressure the quarterback on defense. So, as a Giants fan, this happened to us last year, where the offense side of the line started to fall apart, and Daboll had to figure out and manufacture yards. How did he do that? Exactly what we're going to do today. The greatest prop play of the day is Daniel Jones rushing over 50 yards. The only thing the Giants can pull off when there's a pass rush is Daniel just runs. And they did it last year, if you remember, when the line got really bad. He would just take it, no fakes, no nothing, just start running for yards, just to get the yards going. Then Saquon would fill in the rest. I like Saquon to score in this. I like Daniel Jones to have like 80 yards rushing, and I'm not joking, and a rushing touchdown. I love the Giants to beat the Cardinals, because if the Giants can get a lead going and just run Barkley and stuff, it's game over. They played horrendously. Do I think that offensive line is good? No. But I expect Hyatt to have one play today where he just runs by everybody and Daniel just flings it up and he finally catches it. He threw that ball behind Hyatt. He throws that in front of Hyatt. Hyatt's gone. Like, Hyatt's just gone, period, if he gets loose. Giants -4. Ray.
I think the Giants are the lock of the day. Again, you guys know how I feel about the Cardinals. Anytime you can get the Cardinals in a low spread this year, you want to do it. They didn't look great last week, but they did hang in with, the Commanders, and they're another story. Very disappointing. But I love the Giants. I mean, we're talking, 4 points. I don't care if they're playing this thing on Mars. Love the Giants today. Love Danny Dimes as a DFS play as well. I think they bounce back, and I love the Giants defense today.
Sean.
Giants, the G-Man, on my lock of the week. So I really think it's going to be run early and often. I think Daniel Jones is going to have over 60 yards today rushing. I think Saquon's going to go crazy. And I think the Giants march all over the Cardinals.
He's got to run because, again, like I said, last year when the pass rush got to be too much, he just would follow the first lineman that won and got like 6 yards a pop. That's all they were doing. And if that's all we can do because they can't freaking block, Giants organization, I'm still talking about the offensive line. It's 2023. It's been like, no, seriously, though, for the last
years.
From Eli Manning's final years to all of Danny Dimes' time, our quarterbacks throw from their back. It's ridiculous, Matt.
Last week, people made fun of me. They made fun of me because I was the only one on the choo-choo train of the Cardinals. That being said, I'm going against them this week. And this is almost like what Brother Ray was saying earlier. It made me think about the way that the spread's being set up to get you what I call a sucker spread. A lot of people like Cardinals played that game well last week against the Washington Giants. They could be had. So it's going to make everybody go with the – not everybody, but a lot of people probably jump on the Cardinals spread. I'll go with the G-Men here. They're going to get it right there. Better team overall. And not for nothing. When you get involved in a game where you get down big like that, sometimes when games just going like there's nothing can happen, it's not quitting, it's not walking away, but it's like, what can I do? Game was over before it even started last week. I think it leaves a bad taste in the team's mouth. I'd hate to be the Cardinals this week. I think it happens to them. I think the Giants roll up on them. And give me the Giants -4.
The Giants are angry, and I'll tell you why. There's so many memes of the Saquon Barkley rolling his eyes after he fumbled, and then the Daniel Jones with his head in his hands on the bench, like as if like they lost the season. Like, give me a break. And you can't lose 2 games in a row. That percentage is like make the playoffs, I think, like 10% of the time. It's stupid. You can't lose to the Cardinals.
This is a get it right game.
You got the 49ers on my birthday on Thursday, right? They got to beat the 49ers. We'll go over that later. It's because it's the birthday thing, just how it goes. But you have to beat the Cardinals. If you can't beat the Cardinals, I would pack it up, close it down, have them all turn in their equipment. I mean, serious. And we would just go, we're not playing this year. We're going to take this year off to practice, to figure out what the hell we can do with an offensive line. And Azeez Ojulari can't stay healthy. They need to bubble wrap the bastard. He's ridiculous. Kayvon Thibodeau, how about you rush the quarterback, big guy? However, the big key today, Ray, is the recent addition to the Giants is going to be set loose to just rush the passer. Isaiah Simmons can't wait to wreak havoc amongst his former team. He's going to destroy them. There we go. Right, Matt, 49ers Rams. 49ers are favored by 7. Who do you like?
This has been the toughest one of the day for me to really kind of assess, because I don't want to be the guy, like I've been saying, this is the third time I said it, that just jumps on what happened week 1 and runs with it because it happened week 1. The 49ers killed the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah,
I was high on that. I was high on Pitt on that game.
I know, but who's the guy who said the 49ers were going to kill Pitt?
Oh, you did. You absolutely said that.
Pitt's not very good.
You said that they were a world-class organization when Pitt wasn't, and it rang true. But with that being said, the Rams, divisional game, completely different. Throw records out, throw spreads out. We did call it last week with Puka Nacua. We said we felt he was ready to make his emergence. We didn't think it was going to be that big. He was a little banged up. Even with him being, even if he was healthy, I would really be wondering how the Rams going to get it done. But we could be seeing McVay showing himself on how he's going to get this offense in motion and score some points, and he's doing it. And granted, last week over Seattle, it's not San Fran, but it is something. It's something to build on. I like the Rams somehow sneaky staying in this game. I don't know how. It's not going to be. I guess Puka's going to play. Maybe a little Van Jefferson. Tutu's been looking good. And that kid, Karen Williams, has been looking good too. I think Cam Akers is on the way out. I don't know how it gets done, but I think they stay in the game. I think it's an under. Rams in the under.
Sean.
I'm going the opposite way just because 49ers shut my mouth last week when they faced the Steelers. They showed me they got everything. They got all the tools. Ayuk, it's like you can only put one person on Ayuk. Like, how is that fair? So, I think the 49ers win like 10 is what I have it as.
All right. Raymond?
Shanahan owns McVay in the regular season. So, I mean, that's one of the rare instances that McVay's owned by anybody. I like San Francisco in this. It's 7. I'm going to take it. I think they're that much better than the Rams. The Rams were impressive last week. Stafford did look good, which has to give Ram fans some solace, and their defense played well. But, McCaffrey in this offense could absolutely shatter all types of records. This is the perfect offense for this kid. And, Ayuk is playing off the charts. There's just too much to like. Their defense is the best in the league, San Francisco. So.
Yeah, and no one mentioned Debo. Like, he hasn't even appeared yet. So he's another weapon that just happens to be on that team. I start to want to lean towards Matt in the sense that because it's divisional, they play each other tight. And 7 is a lot of points when you're playing somebody you really know. But with that said, I can see it being a 10-point game because I can see the 49ers winning by 10. That's not a blowout to me. That's like they're still hanging in it, but the 49ers still cover the spread of 7. So I'm going to go with that one. Sean, I'll let you do this one. Jets travel to Dallas. Dallas is favored by 8.5. I got to say this. So Dallas is not as good as they looked against the Giants. They're not that good. They're good, but they're not that good. The Giants, that was a disaster of a game. And the Jets with Zach Wilson scares me. It still scares me. He's still the paper boy still scares me. But go ahead. Who do you like? Cowboys favored by 8.5.
I keep on going back and forth on this one. I want to go with the Jets, thinking that with all that running talent with Hall, but I like the Cowboys just because I'm seeing what they can do to the Jets when the Jets can't get a running game started. If they don't get a running game started, the game's over. The game's over before it started. So I don't think the Jets get that running game started. Therefore, I'm taking the Cowboys, even though it's a pick 'em for me. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I know it's a lot. It's a lot.
So I'll go next. Just by the spread number, I'm going with the Jets. Just by 8.5. That Jets defense and the Jets in general with the running backs, and if the paper boy can just throw the ball, stay within 8.5. Right?
Yeah, I mean, with Wilson being in there, and the Cowboys, they're the type of defense, kind of like the old Pats defenses that just prey on weakness.
Oh yeah.
And there's so much weakness with him. I mean, I think he looked better, I will say, and I think the time he spent with Rodgers did help him, but he still just doesn't have it between the ears. And I think they're going to tee off on him. I have to. The spread is a lot, and I do love that Jets defense. I like the way they can run the ball too, but I have to take the Cowboys at home. They just have everything going their way, and that defense is just too much.
See, I think the Jets defense is better, and I think that Dak has a horrible day, like with the Jets defense. I think it's an ugly game, and I'm not saying that the Cowboys don't win. I just can't. It's going to be closer. But Matt, who do you like?
I could see the Jets winning this game. I can, and I'm with the Jets. I actually am in agreement where you can see Dak having a very bad day. I think the Jets are just like any animal wounded. They're going to be hell to fight, to take out. It's their last resort there on defense. They get their back in the corner. But Paperboy, he might have looked like shit Monday night, but anybody would who's not playing with the ones all summer long. But at the same time, he's looking at Aaron Rodgers getting all these toys. And he's going, you didn't do that for me. You got me a few. But let me play. This is my last chance. I'm getting out the door. That's why they said this is Zach Wilson's team. Because you know what? He's got a chip on his shoulder size of the mountain. Now he's got a week under his belt with the ones, with the teams. We're going to see a world of difference. But being the Dallas defense, I know how to attack something that I've seen. I don't know what to expect when it comes to Zach Wilson. I don't know how to attack. I got to kind of play flat-footed and see what's going to be in front of me. That gives a little bit of momentum to the offense. And what we see all the time when we have a replacement at quarterback, you get the game management type quarterback. I could totally see the Jets covering this. I could see them winning it. And it's because this is going to be a solely basically defense game. And that's what's going to keep them in every game this year.
I think it's an ugly game, in my opinion. I do. I think it ends up being ugly. It's defensive, and maybe the Cowboys win by like 3, something like that. Let's move on right to I'll give you this one right. The Commies traveled to Denver to play the Broncos. Broncos are favored by 3.5. Now, I'm going to just shoot him before you're right because I got a quick take as the NFC East whisperer. I like the Commies to win this game. I know they didn't look good last week, right? But I can see them beating Denver. There's something about the way Denver plays and the way the Commies play. I can see the Commies staying within 3.5 at the very least. So I'm going to jump on them quick, Ray. You can go next.
Yeah, I like Washington too. I think they disappointed me last week. I thought they would play much better than that. But I think you kind of saw what they want to do. They want to run the ball. I like what they have a quarterback right now. He can also run the ball as well. So I mean, they have the weapons. I think Young is playing this week. So if he's playing this week, that gives that defense a boost. Denver didn't really impress me. Wilson didn't play bad, and that defense was good. This is a tough game. This is a game I would avoid, mostly because of what the Cardinals did against Washington last week. That scared the crap out of me. But I'm going to go with the Commanders getting the 4, even though they're Denver's at home with Peyton's second game.
Yeah, there's just something about this game, right? That I just instinctively think the Commies win this one. It's a matchup for them. Styles make fights.
Jerry Judy's back too. Jerry Judy's back in the lineup.
I got 2 survivor picks. I boldly put one on Detroit. I felt Detroit against KC. The other one I had no idea because I looked at the Jags against Indy and I was like, that spread. I could see Indy beating them, so I put it on Washington. And the Cardinals almost red-faced me. They almost red-faced Washington. That's how bad Washington is. I'm not backing the Broncos, but I am a Bronco and I will back them today. But that's only because the Washington Commies stuck around with the Cardinals. And this is almost to them going, for scaring me as much as you did last week, and you deserve it. And I'm not much of a favorite guy, but I'm going to back this favorite today. And it's more of a sentiment to because they hung around with the Cardinals.
I don't know who you're picking. I'll be dead honest. You started sounding like you were going with the commies.
I'm going with the Broncos because the Washington commies hung around with the Cards.
By the way, I'm going commies. I'm going to come right back. Commies.
Commies. All right. Sean's in with the commies. So, Matt, I don't know. You split again on that one. You went solo. You went Han solo on that.
I'm with the Broncos, baby.
All right. 3.5. I don't like it. Ray, I'm going to kick this to you because I got a point of contention that we should probably go over with Matt, me and you. Matt is now a hardcore Dolphins fan. Ray, we know the evolution of that. We have videotape of like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and it was not the case. As a Dolphins fan, how do you feel about welcoming someone like that just says, "Hey, now I'm with you guys hardcore"? What's your thoughts, Ray? Because you've dealt with, I mean, honestly, you haven't been in a Super Bowl since '84, right? That was when you were 40. So like now it's been a long time. What do you think, Ray?
I welcome all comers, all new fans. Bring it in. I have completely changed. Brady leaves. You knew there was going to be a vacuum. Now we have Tua. Arrows pointing up. We welcome all comers here.
I was on the Tua bandwagon before it was cool, and Brother Ray knows that.
And
that's why it's acceptable. And
right.
with like every other person that breaks away from a team, we stay in the division because there's some love and there's hate. Where there's hate, there was once love. And
I know
my
that
animosity was with the Patriots because of Bill Belichick not surrounding Brady with anything, and he's doing the same thing to Jones. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch Cam Newton. And I left when it was Cam Newton. I said, you know what? I got to watch something else. I decided to click on the Miami Dolphins, and I like what I see. So not
Matty,
for nothing, Brother
Matty.
Ray knows I'm a smart man. So
Yes,
he
I
knows
do.
there's a reason I'm coming.
Yes, I do.
Matt, I went through the Dave Brown days. When I went from him to the other one that I can't remember his name. We had a couple before Eli that were just, I mean, I've been with the Giants to where they've made me cry in the playoffs. So my theory is always you just stick with your team when they lose, when they win. Is it
King,
depressing?
I get you. But you know what? I can't tolerate Bill Belichick. Tom Brady gave him that arrogant attitude that he talks to the media with. He wasn't doing that before they started winning. And he's still trying to produce Tom Brady's. You didn't produce him. He produced you, and he can't get that. So if I was around somebody who was a coworker and they weren't talking truth and they kept saying the same shit and they were stupid, I'd go, "Hey, stupid head. Hey, stupid head, let me tell you," because that's what you'd have to do. I can't get down with Bill Belichick. He's stupid. He's been drinking the stupid juice.
You can't get down with Bill Belichick. Who do you like in the game, Matt? Dolphins are favored by 2.5.
I'm getting down with Bill Belichick. There's a reason that this spread is where it is, and it's actually fell underneath 2.5. There's something with it. There's something to it.
Yep.
They shouldn't be able to stay in this game. They got some injuries all on the offensive line, but health is good on the upswing for them. They get Coldstring and Michael Onwenu coming back, replaces the injuries that they're going to have with Trent Brown and Cole Strange. So that kind of leads to promise. The reason why I think New England could win this game is because the way the Miami Dolphins allowed the running of the Chargers. So you could see Zeke and Ramondre Stevenson having big days today. And we know by the days of Peyton Manning how they're going to approach this. It's not just going to be how you prepare for them defensively. You do it offensively. You prepare for them defensively. You run. You keep touring that electric offense on the sideline by running the ball. You look at Ramondre and you look at Zeke and you go, you got to give me 4 yards of carry. You got to move the chains because we cannot defend them. Jones, who's the only guy who can really man up on Tyreek Hill, he might be limited today. You don't have anybody to replace him. So now you get Marcus Jones. He can't do that. So now you got problems. Depending on how much the availability of Jack Jones is today is whether or not the New England Patriots can contain Tyreek Hill, which they're not going to be able to. They're going to play off for him, let a lot of pitch and catch in front of him. So I could see this game coming down to a field goal at the end, but I could see New England coming away with it.
You give information and I don't know who you're picking. Like, you literally talk about both teams being good and why they're going to win, and then you pick them.
I'm wearing the jersey because I feel like it's going to give them a win streak. I picked them last week in a tough game. I think it's going to be a tough game again today. To come up here to New England and to win one from even a wounded New England would be a statement. But you know what? I don't know who I'm taking, and I don't know why I would ever take New England, because Tua is undefeated against you, Bill Belichick, and he's going to beat you again. 5-0. I'm going with Tua.
So now you're going with the Dolphins?
I'm going with Miami, baby.
You just switch your
Yeah.
pick. So you just switched your pick. Let me write that down. That was like a therapy session. I'm glad we got through it. Now we're going with the Dolphins. Ray, who do you like?
They never win in New England.
Hey,
They never
It's tough.
win in New England. It
It
doesn't
is.
matter
It is.
what year it is. It doesn't matter when Zonka and Kick were on the team.
Yep.
They would always have issues in New England.
Yep.
They've won very few games
Yep.
in New England. And looking at the way their defense played last week, that gives me area of concern. Like Mastradamus said, they could not stop the run. Gee, what do you think New England's going to try and do this week? You know, and the Patriots defense played well against the Eagles last week. And guess what? That offense is different. Mac Jones is going to be a good fantasy quarterback this year. They're going to sling the ball a lot this year. If you're going to tell me that the Patriots are getting points at home in a game that they usually win, no matter who's good, who's bad, it just doesn't matter. I hate to say it. I'm not going to bet this game, but I like the Patriots to win this game, and I like them with the points.
Sean.
It's tough.
yeah, very tough game tonight. But like Ray was saying, when the Miami Dolphins come up here, New England Patriots win 85 or 86% of the time. And then when the Patriots go down to Miami and the temperature is 84 or more, then of course we get demolished. So with that reasoning, I'm going with New England.
So now it's up to me here. I'm going to go with, and this is why I'm doing it. I'm going with the Patriots because I've seen this game before. That's the feeling I have with this game. I've seen it before. Mac Jones, he threw the ball so many times. Like, he is definitely a sleeper pick as far as a fantasy quarterback, because if he has to keep up with Tua, like, they showed that they'll at least throw the ball that many times. Now, do I expect them to start off with the run early? Yes. But then I see the Dolphins getting ahead and then the Patriots throwing to keep up. And oddly enough, I know it makes no sense what I'm saying, but I think the Patriots end up squeaking this game out. And it's just because it always happens. It's one of those things you got to pay attention to because it always happens. So
one thing you just said as a Patriots fan, because in my blood I am, but they've never had it underneath Mac Jones. I've never seen a comeback. And if we can remember it, please tell me, because I don't think Mac Jones has ever been down and ever come back and solidified a victory. I don't know if I can remember one. And can he keep up with Tua? We just said a story that's never happened, and I don't know if it can happen. Can he keep up? Can he come from behind against this Miami team?
Yeah, but you have to have the first time. You know,
sometime.
You know what I mean?
It has to be a first time sometime.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It just kind of has to happen.
Tua looks. You ever watch The Last Dragon?
Yes.
Of course.
Bruce Leroy, badass, right?
Dragon.
Badass. He's getting his ass kicked by showing off. Boom, boom, boom. Then he turns on the glow. Tua's got the glow. We saw it. It's what everyone was talking about all week. And he was throwing people open. You know, you make a little mistake, minor mistake. He's got pinpoint accuracy. We're seeing him very comfortable.
Very happy with him. Very happy with that performance. I mean, the accuracy, the arm strength. They talk about him having a weak arm. I didn't see it. So, no, I'm very happy with him.
He said to Ryan Clark, keep my name out your mouth. But he just said to the whole league, keep my name out your mouth.
But Matt, I got to ask you, deep down, don't you have that odd feeling about this game? Don't
Oh,
haven't
I
you seen
absolutely
this game
do.
before?
Like Brother Ray said, I'm not betting this game. I'm a smart person. You bet with money. You don't bet with your heart. Depending on how the day goes, maybe I'll be stupid. But this is one that you're stupid, if you do, because, put a coin up in the air and flip it 100 times. That's really what you're doing. Uh, you know, New England has that mentality of what I was talking about earlier about animal wounded back against the wall. There's not many games that New England's supposed to win this year. They got like 2.5 within the division. I don't see them winning 2. So they're going, we need to win 1. We need to start somewhere. Like you said, it's got to start sometime. We can see with the first game against the Eagles, they failed themselves. They believe in themselves. This is a Patriots team, Patriots organization. I guarantee you, if they didn't lose the turnover battle, they win that game. They win that game. So we also seen Miami last week. They put the bread on the carpet, and we seen Tua throw a ball in the end zone that got turned over. If he did that again this week, maybe it's a different outcome because we know New England's not going to continue to be that team.
All right. So Ray, I think with all that said, though, whenever there's confusion in a game like this, you always just go with the Patriots. I know that sounds really ridiculous.
Tease them up, getting
That's
9.
what I said. I mean, it's exactly what I said. I mean, this is the game that they don't win. Like every year, it doesn't matter, and it doesn't usually affect the rest of the year. But this is what happens.
If you want a good bet, you tease the Patriots, get 9.5, and then you tease the under, because this is going to be an under. If you believe in New England, you believe they're going to stunt Tua, and they're going to have something. Like I said, this is going to be the Peyton Manning days. They're going to invite them to run. They're going to go, we've seen you with Mostert. What you really want to do, and we're not going to let you do that. We're going to drop everybody back into some dime defense. We're going to invite you to run the ball with Mostert. I don't think Mostert's going to be able to do that.
The X factor today that could blow this game wide open.
Jalen Waddle?
No, and if he's available
Easy.
in fantasy leagues, A-Chain. Devon A-Chain is going to play tonight.
No.
And guys, they're going to use him like Marshall Faulk. You guys remember Marshall Faulk? This guy could tear the top off this game, and he could be the guy going forward. So
Brother Ray,
in any league,
I like what
I
you're
could
saying.
not agree with you more.
I think it's Easy. I think Easy gets 80 and a touchdown because they're going to have to go with the third outlet. And we seen week 1 that Miami Dolphins might have something there with Easy because they didn't have really the third guy last year. And he looks
big.
hot.
He's
He's
got
big.
He's got size.
If I can piggyback on both of you, I see the Patriots today giving the Dolphins both 20s. So they let them run those 60, 70, 80 yards, and then they say, okay, here's all of a sudden where we're going to stop stunting. And all of a sudden, it's an entirely different game, and you're kicking field goals, and you're trying to run against the Patriots, and it's going to take Miami away from what they are. I think Tua has a great game. Tua's amazing. I think A-Chain could blow up, but I don't see him scoring many touchdowns.
Captain, I'll tell you something that I didn't touch on, but this is huge, right? They have no leadership in the back end of that defense. Jalen Mills is your free safety. You had Devin McCourty.
Yeah.
Devin McCourty and the Patriots knew how to bottle up Tyreek. How they play Hill on the front is going to be different on the back end. And whether or not you got Jabril Peppers or Jalen Mills playing Tyreek over the hill, you could see cheesy touchdowns quickly by the Dolphins. And that's something to watch for because the captain on the back end of the defense is not there no more. That's something we didn't really touch on. That's Devin McCourty. He's no longer there.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not a big Mills guy.
That was a very confusing game for us. Saints go to Carolina. Sean, the Saints are favored by 3 playing Carolina. Carolina, their quarterback is playing, I guess, but there's some doubts. And I felt like the Saints didn't play as good as they could have, but they still pulled it out. So who do you like with the Saints traveling to Carolina on 2 Monday night games, which, again, the NFL, no thanks. Like, enough. Enough of my time. Just keep it at 1.
Yeah.
No one wants 2 games on Monday night. No one. So, Sean, who do you like?
You're right. Well, it's nice to start off a week where you just got done doing 10 hours, coming home, and they want you to stay up till 12 midnight. However, no chance I'm watching both games. However, there is a big chance that New Orleans beats Carolina. That's my pick just because I see New Orleans on just going deep. Carolina, really, their toys are overrated. So I'll keep it short and sweet, and I'll just say New Orleans.
All right. Ray?
Love the Saints here. Absolutely love the Saints. Only given 3 at Carolina. And again, I thought Carr played well last week. I thought he played well in spurts. I love Rashid Shaheed. I think he's going to be one of the best players in the league this year. Jump on that guy if he's available in any league. But I mean, they look good. Mike Thomas looked good. We know what Olave can do. I mean, this is a team. They can run the ball with Williams. You know, you got Kamara coming back from suspension soon. The rookie might even play today.
Yeah.
I love them on both sides of the ball. Their defense is strong. They're going to dominate Carolina today. I mean, it's going to take a while for Carolina to get their feet under them. Chark may play today. He's a sneaky start. But I don't think they have enough. I love the Saints here.
Maddie?
I'm backing Ray with what he said for all the reasons he said. I love New Orleans. Big fan of Rashid and the complementary players that they got. It's funny because I was huge on Chris Olave, but I'm not going to be sad that I missed out on him because I think that kid Rashid is going to take up a lot of that offense. He's that special. Second-year player. He was unbelievable in college.
So
Small school, but he's playing big now.
Weber
State.
With that said, Matt, I also am going with the Saints. Panthers didn't impress me, and the Saints look like they didn't gel yet. Like I was watching the game thinking, ooh, when they gel, they're going to be pretty good, like offensively or whatnot. And, you know, they're getting after it. So I'm going to go also with the Saints to join you guys on that. Now, Ray, seniors always go first. So I'm going to give you the last game. Ray, are you awake? Ray? Cleveland travels to Pittsburgh. Never seen this game before. Browns are favored by 2.5. I think the Browns are a real good team with Watson right now. And I don't like the Steelers. It's something clunky about the Steelers. With that said, though, I can see this being an ugly-ass game. So 2.5 is a weird spread. Who do you like, Ray?
First of all, Amari Cooper may not play. Questionable, injured himself yesterday.
Hamstring.
If he doesn't play, that really does affect that team. Chubb is Chubb. He looked great. The defense looks special. The thing with the Steelers, this is a game that they usually bounce back. I think they're better than what we saw last week. And Deshaun Watson did not look good. I will tell you that right now. I watched that game. He was bouncing a lot of balls on the ground. He did not look good. Now, I'm sure that's going to hopefully change for them. But I like Pickett in a bounce back on Monday night, getting points at home. I think it's tough for me to go against them. Again, this is a division game, and I like the Steelers in division games. I'm going to go with the Steelers getting the points.
But you also said last week you couldn't see the Steelers losing at home in their home field by like 10 or whatever it was. And
last week was an aberration because they got crushed by a very good football team. I don't think the Browns are the Niners, especially if Amari Cooper's not going to suit up.
So I'm going to go really quick here. I agree with Ray for some odd reason. Again, I alluded to the fact that it's going to be a messy game. It's going to be just one of those messy games. I really think it could be a running game, just ugly, right? Kenny Pickett's little hands trying to throw the football. I think the Browns get beat because it's Monday night in Pittsburgh, 2.5. Steelers win by 3 outright. That's my book. Maddie. Is Matt with us?
What?
What?
No respect on the Browns?
No, not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
You want to respect them? You want to respect them?
So who do you like, Matt?
I like the Browns. I can agree that Deshaun Watson didn't look good. Pickett looked like Duke. And they don't have Deontay Johnson, and Pickens is good for like a good play too, but do they have other role players? Pat Fairmouth even, Najee Harris, they're still going to let him take the heat, but he looks like dog do. And then, what I like the under. If you're gonna tell me bet on one thing, give me the under all day. Check back with me tomorrow. I'll get a closer ear on the hot beat of the Steelers, because right now this is a tough spot for them. Like, granted, they just played one of the best teams, and that's true. And Cleveland isn't San Fran, but they're Cleveland, and this is a team that Cleveland should win, should beat. Give me Cleveland.
I'm going to use your philosophy, though. If Pickett is puke and you put him next to Deshaun Watson, he might look better.
He doesn't have anything. This poor kid in Pitt, it's great because they got to see him. He was right up the street, but with seeing him right up the street, you should see that he didn't really do anything magical in college. Like, I remember on a show, I compared him to Kyle Trask. He really is a lot like Kyle Trask. He wasn't any big thing, and he's not going to take over a game. So with that being said, if you're going to tell me this is a matchup of two defenses, give me the Brownies and Watson to figure it out a few more times.
All right. Sean.
All right. There's been a lot of shit talk today, but I think when you take those brown streaks all the way down that Hershey Highway, it's going to bring you to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh takes no shit when they're playing at home. That's why I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Permanente, brother.
I'm going to change my pick.
Lone Wolf.
I'm sold.
Lone Wolf.
Matt goes with the Browns. We all take the Steelers. Let me just review really quick. You can give us some fantasy sleepers, but right now we have officially 2 locks with the Giants and Saints. I'm going to review a couple really quickly with you guys that we went 3-1 with, and we'll make a decision. But Ray, fantasy-wise, who should we look out for?
Fantasy-wise, I already talked about the Fields more stack. I talked about A.J. Dillon. I think contract year, he needs to produce today. I love Okwankwu from Tennessee today, tight end. I think last week he should have had a 25-yard touchdown if Ryan Tannehill was competent. Tannehill's not competent. I love Chig today. T. Higgins on a bounce back today. I think he's someone you can get cheap. Talked about Sky Moore. We talked about Jamar Gibbs. Look out for Emmanuel Wilson in Green Bay, okay? He's going to be the second running back in the game today. Had a great preseason. Big, 230. He could get a goal line carry today. Emmanuel Wilson. Josh Kelly, another guy in a contract year. He's got to carry the load today with no Eckler. We talked about DJ Chark. We talked about Danny Dimes. Love James Cook. Devon A-Chain, a real sleeper here. If he's available in any leagues, pick the guy up now. And Rashawn Johnson, who very well could be the rookie of the year once the season's over. He is going to take the job away from Herbert. It's just a matter of time. Touchdown last week. Grab this kid now.
All right. So I'm going to review the games really quickly because we actually had an awful lot of 3-1s. An awful lot of 3-1s. So let's go over those 3-1s, shall we? The first 3-1 was Brother Ray took the Falcons. We all went with the Packers. Now, Brother Ray, if you're solid in that, then you're solid in that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that. Stop me if you're the soloed out person and you're not quite sure. The next one was Matt was soloed out with the Colts and Texans. Matt, I think I love the Texans this week. So but I get it if you're sold with the Colts. Okay. Sean, you went 3-1 with the Seahawks. We all took the Lions. You like a Geno Smith led team.
You could twitch me on that one. I'm pushover.
I'm gonna put a question mark there. Matt, you were solo with the Raiders. We all took the Bills. You still sold your soul on the Raiders, right? Is Matt listening?
Yeah, I'm not. It's not that I'm sold on the Raiders. I'm just not. I don't believe in the Bills. That's really what it is.
That works. Next game, Matt, you were soloed again. You took the Bengals. We took the Ravens, but you believe in Joe Burrow, correct?
It's got to be sometime where they're at home. There's got to be a time when Joe Burrow beats Lamar Jackson.
It's a similar theme. Matt, you were 3-1 taking the Rams. We took the 49ers.
No special reason there, just more or less. 49ers looked the best than anybody last week.
All
So
right.
I just think there's going to be a constant dousing of the dollars.
Two more
backing them this
3-1s.
week.
Two more 3-1s. Matt, you went with the Broncos. We went with the Commies.
Bronco, baby.
All
The
right.
the Butterville Broncos did a speech about me this week. And that was 20. That's got to be 24 years. The hot beat still beats in the Broncos.
Okay.
And I'm going to go back with them. They back me. I'm going to back them. I'm going
All
to
right,
back the Broncos.
Two more really quick then. Matt, you went with the Dolphins. We went with the Patriots. Again, I guess you're going to stick with that one that say with the Dolphins. And then one more. Matt, you went with the Browns. We went with the Steelers. So if we put together the what if Matt's wrong parlay, you would have the Texans, the Bills, the Ravens, the 49ers, the Commies, the Patriots, and the Steelers.
We should do a what if Matt is wrong segment.
That's 1, 2,
because that never happens.
4,
My name
5,
is Mr.
6,
Never Left.
7 games out of the slate
Wow.
that you had solo on. The only other solo is Brother Ray with the Falcons. But other than that, every solo was you, Matt.
Yeah, with nobody yell.
All right, so here's what I'm going to tell people out there. I wasn't seeing this. Mike, will Josh Kelly PPR?
Big time.
Yeah, he's Austin
Yeah.
Eckler.
Yeah.
No,
He's
no way.
Austin Eckler.
So,
Matt-
all right,
I was
Good.
just going to say, matter of fact, on that note, I got to get out of here because last week cost me daily. I got to get everything in.
all right, let me wrap it up really quick then. The locks we have and all agreed on are the Giants and Saints. If you want to bet against Matt, we'll call the segment, Is Matt Wrong? You could take the Texans, the Bills, the Ravens, the 49ers, the Commies, the Pats, and the Steelers. That's a 17 parlay where 3 of us agreed on, but the lone wolf himself, Lenny, went with the opposite side. So you can go with our locks, Giants and Saints, and be happy with that. They will be locks. Or you can bet against Matt with the Texans, Bills, Ravens, 49ers, Commies, Pats, and Steelers. Or just take the other teams of those teams I just said and go with Matt. You could just roll with Matt. How about, is Matt wrong or roll with Matt? You have 2 choices, people. Any last words, Sean?
Steve Winwood is rolling over in his grave.
Yeah.
So he's
Pretty
not
good.
rolling with it, baby.
Pretty good.
Thank
Pretty
you.
good. Ray, last words?
Get your bets in. Big adjustment from last week. Don't believe everything you saw last week, but there are some trends, and you should follow them.
Matt, any last words?
It's going to be a tough hill to climb.
My final words will be this. I'm telling you to take Daniel Jones over 50 yards rushing. I'm telling you that, right? And if I was going to throw one other prop bet just out there to combine it with, 1 touchdown for Jalen Hyatt. The rookie shows out one time. He's just going to get. Once he gets by someone, that's over. He's just going to catch it. So that's what I'm going to go with. So 4, Captain Picard. 4, M1, Mr. Never Left. 4, Brother Ray. It is me, Mike Leopard, King Mike L. This was Legit Fantasy Football brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. The Legit Fantasy League started this week for us. I'm facing a really hard team, but I really think that roster I have is the balls. So I'm very excited. Also, check us out at LegitPodcast.com. Literally, Legit Podcast, DOTCOM, is now our social media platform. That's how you could find us, the real us, on all social media platforms. Legit Podcast, DOTCOM, which is .com. Thank you guys for watching. Go watch the games.